Pisces, thanks for joining me. This is your astrology forecast for October 2015. It's really nice to be with you again today. A couple of things happening this month. The first two actually happening on the 30th of September. These are going to affect you going into October. The first one is that Pluto starts to square the Sun. Okay, Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth, and the Sun is your identity and your ego. Now, what that means for you specifically, Pisces, is that you're going to feel a sense of rebirth in your relationships with other people, and something that was that kind of ended gets a second wind, gets new life. So it could be that someone who kind of disappeared out of your life reappears, or that an issue that you thought was done and dusted kind of raises its head again, but something that was almost long forgotten reappears, and it has to do with other people. The other thing that Pluto does is it squares Uranus, and this square is much longer. It starts on the 30th of September, but it actually lasts for about 9 months until the 13th of May 2016. So this is a big influence, okay? Pluto and Uranus, both outer planets, they have big kind of societal impacts. And Uranus is in your second house. Uranus is energy, it's miracles, it's the unexpected, it's electricity, it's chaos, and it connects with Pluto, which sits in your sector of hopes and dreams. So really, this is very good news for you, Pisces, because new energy comes into your financial sector, and things that, again, were long forgotten or things that you gave up on become a theme again. So you can make that money that you've been hoping. You can have those things that you've been dreaming of having. And the thing that activates this energy is Aries. So when you apply yourself, when you put yourself out there, and when you work at it, that's when you can achieve your dreams, especially in that financial sector. On the 1st of October, you have Mars, Jupiter, and your midheaven all in Virgo in your 7th house. So this is a big theme here. So the fact that your relationships are expanding, that you're doing very well in your relationships, that you're working on them, your intimate relationships in particularly are very, very good. And that's going to be the biggest asset that you've got. So rely on that, especially when we're talking about finances. Use your network, use your resources to kind of get you to where you're wanting to go. If you've got a business idea that you want to get off the ground, use your relationships to take practical actions and to put them into place. So, you know, if you've got an idea for creating a miniature Zeppelin or something, and you don't have the money to put up for it, then connect with your friends, your network, and put that into place so that you can achieve what you're trying to achieve. On the 3rd of October, Chiron starts to square the moon. Chiron is an asteroid that often represents issues that need to be transformed, and that's in your 1st house of self this month, okay? So if you have feelings of doubt, if you have feelings of low self-esteem, if you're feeling a little bit, you know, at the beginning of October, like things aren't practical, or you're feeling a bit defeated, then the way to overcome that is to speak to family members and to get that support from friends and family to help you move forward. On the 4th of October, the moon moves forward into Cancer, which is also a very family-oriented sign, and it starts to square your midheaven and your north node and your Mercury and your Sun, all of which are in your 7th and 8th house. Okay, so again, if there are kind of feelings of things aren't going the way you would like them, if you're not making enough progress, if people are just taking from you and you're not getting anything back, connecting with those nearest and dearest to you, your partner, your family members, that's going to even out the kinks and is going to give you the strength to kind of carry on. Okay, so that's your biggest asset that you've got. So if there are any emotional ups and downs, you can rely on that to help you. On the 5th of October, there's a T-square in your chart, and that occurs between Pluto and the moon, and that culminates in your 2nd house. So a T-square is always an area of motivation. Your hopes and dreams can really be realized when you apply yourself, and they can make you some money if you have the courage to take a risk and put yourself out there. This points very much towards kind of self-employment, and this kind of really points towards creating something for yourself rather than in an employment situation, okay? So think for yourself, do something outside of your day job or launch a new product if you are self-employed, but add something to what you're already doing, and that will have a beneficial impact on your finances. On the 6th of October, Pluto starts to trine your midheaven. And it also trines your Jupiter and your Mars in your 7th house. So again, your relationships now give something back to you, and where have you reached out to partners or something like that, or to friends and family to get a business idea off the ground, you will hear back from them and something will get going, something will start taking shape. So basically the first month of October is about putting a project into place in connection with other people, and you can really get that organized and set up at the beginning of October. So even if it's not business related, but if you have had something in the works or you've dreamt of getting a project going, the beginning of October is a really good time to do that. The moon trines Uranus on the 7th of October. Uranus, very kind of forceful there, making a big appearance in your chart this month, sitting in your 2nd house of finances, and it's really saying that if you want a lot of movement in your financial life, take action. If you want to reduce the chaos in your financial life, take action. If you want increased finances, more income, take action. That's the gist, okay? The moon connects with it on the 7th, so you will actually have the courage and the confidence in yourself to do that around this time of the month. And you know, you are working with other people too, so that really takes the load off as well, and really gives you a good opportunity to build something that will be of meaning and that will be of use to you in your life moving forward. On the 9th of October, Venus moves into Virgo. So now in your 7th house of relationships, you've got Jupiter, Mars, the Moon, and Venus. All of those planets are very, very positive. Virgo is the sign of action, taking practical action, being earthy, being organized, making good decisions. So your relationships are really your #1 strength. You can really rely on your relationship. If you ask someone, you will be very likely to get a positive outcome. If you communicate something, people will understand you well. If you are trying to strengthen or build a relationship, or take it from being a friendship and make it a romantic relationship, if you've had feelings, you know, for someone like that, it's a very good month to make those alterations to relationships and to put yourself out there and to take a risk, because people respond well to you and people will want to be around you. You seem trustworthy, you seem reliable, you seem to make sense, and people like that. People like to be around you, especially at this time of the month in October. The other thing is that on the 9th of October, Mercury comes out of retrograde. It was in retrograde since the 17th of September, and it comes out of that now and it goes direct. And Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules anything to do with information exchange. So speaking, writing, radios, phones, anything like that. And when it's in retrograde, it makes it more challenging and it makes it more difficult to communicate. You'll find that from the 9th of October onwards, that gets easier. And even though you haven't particularly struggled with the Mercury retrograde, if anything, it's forced you to open up your charm reserves and to really work with people in a very positive way, and people have responded to you in a very positive way. On the 10th of October, Venus sesqui squares Uranus, and this is kind of similar to what happened earlier in the month when they trined each other, but what this does is it creates kind of friction between them, and your relationships kind of take you away from your business ideas now. I think you're getting more into the romance side of things, and you're not so much interested in working with people on a project, but you're interested in working with people in an intimate way. So working on personal relationships, okay? So if you're trying to get that project off the ground, started at the beginning, at the first week of October. That's when you'll make the most progress and have the most success with it. On the 11th of October, the Sun and Uranus form a T-square, so more motivation. And that has an outlet, a solution in the 11th house. So don't forget about work altogether. Continue to apply yourself. You are very good at dealing with the kind of legalities and leading with people's feelings and being very diplomatic. So it's on the 11th, it's kind of saying, come back, come back to doing some work. You have a really clear vision of where you can go, and really make use of that. And don't spend too much time just, going on dates and stuff. Use your people skills at the moment to actually improve your working life, to improve your career, and to build something concrete with it. The new moon occurs on the 13th of October, and that's in Libra. And that's again in your 8th house of other people. So more energy, more power to you in terms of building harmonious relationships. You will find it even easier to connect well with people and to build long-term partnerships, long-lasting friendships, and good interpersonal relationships and connections. Since the 16th of August through until today, the 13th of October, Jupiter has been in opposition with Neptune. And what that's done is it's really made you feel a little bit like, if I have good relationships, then I'm a good person. If I'm successful and I make people happy, then I can be happy about myself. And that kind of leaves a little bit, which is good, that idea that I need to please other people so I can feel good about myself. And that's partly been the motivation of why you have had such good relationships, but it's not particularly nice for you, to have to feel like that. You start to feel more positive about yourself. You can also offset that by doing positive affirmations and literally working on the way you feel about yourself, but you're not going to feel so driven to kind of make people happy from the 13th onwards, which is good, because you can't make everyone happy all the time, can you? The moon starts to trine Uranus now on the 17th, and it conjuncts with your rising and your Saturn in Sagittarius in your 10th house. So I think the work ideas are up and running. I think you've got a really clear idea. Again, you already had a clear idea a few days ago, but it really comes together now, and I think you're really positioned to get started in terms of this career work inspiration that you've got. And I see that Uranus is going to really provide you with the energy and the miracles and the unexpected assistance that you couldn't pay for, and that if you get busy and if you take action, you will have a great success with these new ventures. So please apply yourself to that. The moon then squares your north node of the moon in your 7th house on the 18th. The moon, like I said, is in Sagittarius in your career sector. The north node is in Virgo in your 7th. So it's important that you do this work with other people. It's part of your purpose to build your relationships and to succeed in work. And the way you can connect those and to combine both desires is by forming a partnership or by doing something with a friend or a partner or a family member. But it's important for you to create with another human being. Sometimes it's okay to be a sole trader and to work alone and to just do it that way. But now's not the time. The time, for whatever reason, it's important for you to work with another person. Whether the outcome is an amazing business or a relationship that lasts for many, many years, you don't know. But the important thing is to put in the legwork and just to see what happens with it. On the 19th and 20th, the moon and Pluto start to conjunct. And the moon and Pluto are in your 11th house, and this really makes you feel very comfortable at working on reviving your hopes and dreams, especially in your working life. And I think these 2 days are very good to get busy, to get productive. So if you have any time to schedule this to work on your own projects, then please do. You'll make huge inroads and huge progress on these 2 days. On the 23rd, Neptune starts to trine the Sun. Now the Sun is your identity, and Neptune is the planet of dreams and the unmanifest. It's your ruler. It's in your first house of self, and it's in your sign of Pisces. So it couldn't be happier. You're pretty intuitive, you're pretty sensitive, but at this time, with Neptune being in your sign, you're going to feel a heightened sense of sensitivity. The fact that it connects with the Sun, your identity, means that that becomes really integrated and it becomes a natural, you become a natural channel. You will start to almost feel information come in through your crown chakra into yourself, and you don't actually do anything for that. It's not going to feel invasive or unnatural. You're just going to have access to an extra sense, like a sixth sense. And that's basically what the intuition is, to just either know things or feel things. And between the 23rd until the 6th of November, you will feel that is heightened and even stronger than it usually is for you. On the 25th, the moon begins to trine Saturn. And I think you'll start to really get some steam going in terms of these working projects, these ideas. You may even see some financial benefits. I think you may even, this early on, see some rewards and outcomes to that. The full moon occurs in Taurus on the 27th, and that's in your third house of communication. Okay, so nothing really has happened in this sector so far, and really all of the stuff you've done with other people, all of the hard work you've put in, really culminates now in this fruition of something practical, that you either get an opportunity where someone says, we like what you're doing, we'd like to take you on, or we'd like to put up some money to get this set up as a project, or we'd like to invest, or whatever it is. You get some good news coming in which will really take this to the next level. On the 28th, we've got a grand trine in Earth. Okay, so a grand trine is always an area of real talent, and it gives you an ease in that area. Now it's between the moon, which was full yesterday, Pluto in the 11th house, and all of that stuff that you've got on in the 7th, your North Node, your Mars, your Venus, your Jupiter. And really, this is the best day for you to communicate in your relationships what it is you want and to make plans for the future in your relationships. Now, the whole month has been about your business relationships and moving things forward in that sense, but this even extends to romantic relationships and even solidifying those if you want. So if you've been with your partner for a while, what are your hopes and dreams about where you want this to go? Do you want to make it a commitment? Do you want to move in together? Do you want to get married? Do you want to get engaged? Okay, so that's a very good day to attempt any of those conversations, to plan one of these events for, because it's a practical day. Whatever you're thinking up here and you put into practice into the real world and you make an effort to achieve, you're going to be received well, you're going to communicate well, you're going to come across well, and your hopes and dreams aren't going to crash and burn and die. They will have new life and they will come into existence. So if you're, those things are kind of delicate and your feelings are at risk and all of those things, if that's something that you've been considering, the 28th is good for it. And then finally, Halloween, the 31st of October, we've got another grand trine, an area of talent and ease, but this time in water. Now, remember, I mentioned that this Neptune-Sun connection increased your intuition. Halloween is a time when the veil is thin anyway. Things come through because in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the biggest turning point day from summer to winter, okay? It's from light to dark. And traditionally, it's a time when that shift occurs. So it's like a bridge. Now, with this grand trine in water, it heightens it even more, and it's almost like there's mist in the atmosphere, which facilitates communication with the other side. So all of that combines to make this a really psychic time. And if you're interested in things like the paranormal or ghost hunts or Ouija boards or whatever, then it's a wonderful time to look into that in a serious way or in a fun way. But I really feel that I think it's going to be quite a special Halloween, and there's going to be quite a lot of paranormal activity, if you want to call it that. Yeah, what else would you call it? Okay, never mind. I hope this has been useful to you. I just had a bit of a schizo moment there. No offense to anyone who suffers from schizophrenia. If you'd like to have a private reading with me, then please get in touch with me via the website. It's gregoryscott.com. If you click on the readings tab, then you'll see the types of readings I offer. I do astrology, tarot, and numerology. And if you have any questions about, what type of business should I start? Should I go self-employed? Should I be employed? I can look at your chart, which is specific, which is even more accurate than this, which is for all Pisces. That'll be specifically for you. And we can look at those things in detail. And please remember to subscribe to the channel so that these videos show up. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll speak to you soon.